All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So, another day, another story that is absolutely crazy to me. Okay, so apparently Trump is now seriously considering a pardon for Sean Diddy Combs ahead of sentencing. White House officially says nothing. I don't know what that means, but the word is he's seriously considering pardoning him. Now, the reason why this is totally believable is because who was in charge of the Diddy trial? Okay, Maureen Comey. Now, you might recall Maureen Comey from such recent stories of, the Ghislaine Maxwell situation, the Epstein case, the Ghislaine Maxwell case, the Epstein case, and her being in charge of the Epstein files, which subsequently, when turned over to Pam Bondi, became the lightning rod that is essentially putting Trump's entire presidency at risk because his base has turned on him and they're like, bro, you need to release these files. And most likely there is a bunch of stuff in there, either, put in there by Maureen Comey, James Comey, and these guys, or, they hammed up a bunch of stuff that had been talked about where he was in the files because he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Either way, we've talked about that ad nauseum, right? But I completely believe this case or this story. And the reason, again, is because he is on a revenge tour, and pardoning Diddy after all the work that Maureen Comey and her team did on the Diddy case would be a big middle finger to them. Now, let's talk about whether or not that's a smart idea, though, okay? Because as of this moment, right, the only question, if you're Trump, that makes any difference is, how is my base going to feel about this? Because I'm sorry, if this is going to come off like he's doing favors to sex criminals, this is going to be an absolute catastrophe for him, like a catastrophe, right? I understand what he's looking at, and I will explain that in detail shortly. But I again, if the evaluation to him is, wow, these guys really screwed Diddy over, and this is what they tried to do to me, it's like, that is not the only question you need to ask yourself, okay? Like, I'm serious. This is really important. All that matters is, how is the public interpreting this, okay? Whether you think that Diddy's getting screwed over or not, presidential pardon, huge deal. Presidential pardon for someone who got convicted of a sex crime, regardless of the fact that the one he was convicted of is absolute and 100% total horseshit. That the mainstream media and all of these lawsuits, dude, the guy has how many pending lawsuits against him, okay? Now, you might think or even know that all of these lawsuits are part of a massive campaign that was waged against Diddy. You might know that if you're Trump. That does not mean that it is still the correct play to pardon him, unless he feels so deeply that that Diddy's been like wronged, that he's like, I'm not going to allow them to stick this guy in prison for 20 years when he doesn't deserve it. Now, I actually would respect that if that's what he believes. But if this is revenge and he is not considering how this is going to look optically, he is going to make a catastrophic mistake here. Okay, now, I'm also going to take a look at this story right here, because I realized during my live stream the other night, I completely forgot to cover this. I pulled it up and then never covered it. And that is Trump talking about why he ended his relationship with Epstein. He said that he stole people that worked for me. I had never heard that before, okay? I had always heard that it was either that they had some kind of dispute over a real estate property, or that Epstein had tried to approach some teenage girl at Mar-a-Lago. Those are the two things that I had heard. I've never heard tried to steal people that work for me. And again, I have not read past the headline because I wanted to read this live with you guys on my live stream the other night. I was traveling. I was in Las Vegas. I did the Sean Mike Kelly show yesterday. Huge channel. The guy's got like 12 million subscribers on or followers on Instagram. And yeah, so those clips will be coming up. That was really fun. He's a really cool dude. He's also 6'6". Okay. So when you see pictures of me with him, okay, I know you guys are going to want to break my balls. All you trolls. I know, dude. I know I laugh every single time when you call me 5'2". Okay. I do think it's funny. But for the record, when you see the photographs of me with him, he is actually 6'6". So I will definitely look 5'2". I literally, the second that we went to go take the picture, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, bro, everybody's going to think I'm legit 5'2" now. How tall are you? He's like 6'6". I was like, that makes sense. Anyway, so, all right. So really quick though, before we get into it, I want to go ahead and put my hand out. We're going to handshake. You will subscribe to the channel. If you want to know about this story, takes 1 second. And all of you guys, my loyal viewers, if you would like the video, that would be amazing. Also, wait until you see this sponsorship ad. Okay. I did it with Georgia. Okay. It's a Raycon ad. This is the best ad I've ever done by 100 miles, but there's more to it than that. Okay. I also found out that my youngest daughter is a superstar, like an actual megastar that is 100% going to do what I do for a living and is probably going to be one of the biggest streamers in the world. And I challenge you to tell me that I'm wrong after you watch this ad.
I want a lollipop.
Can we get another guinea pig?
Daddy, I want Skittles.
Dad, why can't I have TikTok?
Take me to the pool. Dad, we need a new Xbox. Dude, I'm gonna borrow your car.
The only reason that I heard your question is because I turned off the active noise canceling on these amazing Raycon earbuds that I'm wearing. But the answer is, of course you can borrow my car.
Don't you love when one of your favorites comes back better?
Well, this July, guess who's back and better than ever? Raycon's fan favorite everyday earbuds classic model. Now packing active noise canceling. But Georgia, what's my biggest pet peeve when we travel?
When your headphones run out of batteries.
That's right. Well, the everyday earbud classic model has an 8-hour playtime and 32-hour battery life. Georgia, I think that these people think that I'm just doing an ad and it's not true. Let's hear it. What's at the top of my pouch in my bag? Those are the everyday Raycons. Georgia, how much money do you have saved in your piggy bank right now?
380.
Dude, you could buy like 6 pairs of these Raycons. Now, whether you need a new pair of earbuds or whether you need a backup pair for the ones that you have, you're going to go to buyraycon.com/JesseOnFire to get 20% off fan favorite everyday earbuds classic. Go shopping. You're going to love them. Georgia, don't you think they're going to love them? Okay, ready?
Sponsored by Raycon. Oh, I have some Raycons actually. Giselle gave me some. So strong. I should say that. Like, since we're going to France, that would be the best. Right? Daddy, look at how strong I am.
Wow. Let's get into this thing. And dude, honestly, I wanted to start really quick here because I saw that the Breakfast Club covered this. And this is an opinion that I can't imagine that I can assume that I know. This is more like the Breakfast Club guys. I don't generally agree with them on very much, but let's hear what they say really quick, and then I'll get into what the article is saying.
Black people.
I was just gonna say, a second that I was actually watching them talk, I'm like, oh, never mind. Trump's got this in. He's got another level to this, and he's thinking about the black community and like how's the black community going to acknowledge this? You know what I mean? Or how are they going to view this? And honestly, that's why I wanted to watch this. Is I'm really curious what their take is on whether they think this would be a good thing, bad thing, whatever. Because again, I just want to make perfectly clear on the Diddy thing. I think that case was absolute 100% total horseshit. Okay, the case, and for the 100th time, okay, I will say this about Trump, about the Epstein thing. If Trump ever touched a kid, if Trump even ever thought about touching a kid, okay, I'd be done with him. There's no evidence that he did that. None. Zero. Okay? But for the record, anybody who keeps on, oh, Trump loves little girls. Trump loves whatever. If that ends up being true, I'm out. Okay? I'm definitely out. But there's no evidence of that whatsoever. So I'm not just going to assume that he does. There's no evidence of that. Why would I assume that? And on the Diddy thing, I obviously assumed that he was guilty of all this stuff. The thing is, though, he was not put on trial for any of those things that they talked about. Nothing on kids, nothing on any of the like forced assault stuff, nothing. Absolutely none of the stuff that we heard about. None of these what do you call them? Like the civil cases, none of these people who are coming and going for civil damages. They put all these people in these documentaries, and in the stories that I heard in the documentaries, there's no middle ground. If that story's true, and they said there's a tape of it, that is as hardcore a violent grape as you're ever going to get, which is why I am extraordinarily skeptical of it, because like, why would they have not used that then? They bring up 50 Cent's gold digging baby's mom who signed a contract, and she's like, I get $10,000 a month to be Diddy's little piece of ass that he calls up and I come hang out with him. And then, oh, and by the way, I really enjoyed these freak offs where I other guys in front of him. I mean, like, give me a break. But let's continue. I just want to hear what they say, whether they're on board with this or not. Hey, that went exactly as I anticipated. So let's actually just read the article. But yeah, he's talking about investigating Beyonce because they paid her for an endorsement, which is totally illegal. They paid her $10 million for an endorsement. Illegal. It's illegal. Okay. Now, I don't think you should. There's no reason why Beyonce should know about campaign finance law. Okay. If someone goes down for that, it should be the Kamala Harris campaign, obviously. Okay. Give me a break. Beyonce, they're all, hey, we want to pay you $10 million to do a charity concert where you go out there and, you give a big speech and you endorse Kamala Harris, who we obviously knew that you were going to endorse anyway. She's like, all right, I dare somebody to offer me $10 million to endorse a candidate. You think I'm going and looking up campaign finance law? Give me that money, dude. Give me that money. Oh, unless you ask me to do that for Gavin Newsom, then it's going to have to be $600 million. And then I'll just come on my channel. I'll be like, hey, dude, they paid me to do that. They paid me to do that, FBI. So, I don't know. You might want to investigate him. I did endorse him, but I got paid $600 million to do it. So you should probably investigate them, Anyway, okay, so let's read this real quick. Okay, so Donald Trump is heavily weighing giving Sean Diddy Combs a full presidential pardon ahead of the convicted Bad Boy Records founder's sentencing later this year. Nearly 2 months after Trump publicly entertained the notion of a Diddy pardon in an Oval Office gaggle, a comprehensive get-out-of-jail card for Combs is being seriously considered, an administration source tells Deadline. Several associates of the much accused and currently incarcerated, they've been pitching the White House. Other insiders confirm the topic is leveled up. Okay, so repeatedly denied a $50 million bond and released from Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since his arrest last September. Combs could end up spending two to 3 years in a federal prison upon his sentencing October. It's up to 20, dude. This is totally wrong. It's 10 years per count, dude. He got convicted of 2 counts of violation of the Mann Act, which is transportation of sex workers over state lines. 10 years maximum per count. So I don't know what on earth they're talking about, dude. Any sentence certainly would include time already served by Combs. Even with that, and the Fed seeking the maximum sentencing guidelines, an appeal is widely expected to be launched by the 10-attorney deep defense almost immediately after sentencing. Okay, but they're still going to go down. Like, he's still going to go to jail. It's just like the whole entire case is so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh my gosh. Listen. Cassie couldn't leave. She was terrified to leave. You're all, why'd she leave so many times then? She was constantly leaving. And if you read her text messages throughout the trial, she's like, don't contact me anymore and leave me the fuck alone. And then if you listen to testimony with that other girl, she testified that when she talked to Cassie, she's like, I think you guys have a really toxic relationship. Cassie's like, yeah, but if I break up with him, who am I supposed to date? Jay-Z's already taken. Like, she's literally like, I can only date a superstar rap mogul, It's so dumb. Her guy that she's married to now, she cheated on Diddy with. He was her trainer that Diddy hired to train her upon her request. And then she started banging him, and then she left Diddy for him and then married him. Like, what do you mean he couldn't leave? Or she couldn't leave? What are you talking about? She left. And the other girl signed a contract agreeing to this thing. And they're all, no, they actually didn't want to do the freak offs. They're all, what? This one signed a contract to do the freak offs. This one over here is a liar. Okay. If she's pretending that she didn't want to do this, it literally says in plain English in all of her text messages, I can't wait to do another freak off. Shut up, dude. And again, in that video where he beat her up, which obviously I'm not down with dudes beating up women, but in that video, he ran down the hall, he kicked her, he threw her, very wrong. But he took the bag and then went back down the hall, and then she followed him, okay? She was trying to steal his bag. She was trying to steal his money. There was cash in that bag. That's why he took cash out of it and threw it to the doorman, okay? That is what actually happened. So, and again, if he was charged with, domestic violence, all day, dude, or even assault, all day. That's not what he was charged with. He was charged with sex trafficking. Absurd, okay? Absurd. The idea that a girl has sex in a performative manner with someone else in front of their guy, that equates to sex trafficking by the guy who wants to watch, is literally one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay? If there is no threat, if there's no force, absurd. Absurd. Okay? Anyway, now, like I said, I think that there is a very reasonable probability that Diddy's going to face another case, like I talked about. But the thing is, if he pardons him, if he gives him a pardon, he could pardon him from any future cases also. So, he gives him like a pardon like they gave Anthony Fauci. Well, anything that he did from 2014 to 20 whatever is fine. All he has to do is just do that and then sign it with his actual hand instead of auto pen.